The Ekiti State Chief Magistrate Court at the Ekiti District on Tuesday sentenced a 33-year-old woman, Moradeke Adeoti, to 3 years imprisonment for violating Ekiti State Government directive on child hawking and abuse. Adeoti was arraigned on November 29, 2024 on a one-count charge bordering on unlawful engaging an 11-year-old girl, Moradeke Adeoti, in the hawking of goods and child abuse. The charge reads that the defendant on 22nd November 2024 at the Ekiti did unlawful engage an 11-year-old girl in hawking of goods in the streets, highway, contrary to any punishable under Section 30, subsection 2 of the Child's Right Law of Ekiti State 2019. In her testimony before the court, the defendant's landlady, Bosede also stated that Moradeke has been treating the little girl, her cousin, who was living with her, like a slave, while her children would be in school. The victim, otherwise known as the girl, would be hawking pepper, palm wine, and other things on the streets and highway, especially during school hours. Ekiti State prohibits children of school age from hawking during school hours and engages in enforcement, including arresting parents and guardians of children found hawking. The policy is based on the Child's Rights Law, which makes it an offense to engage children in hawking during school hours. The government also emphasizes the importance of free education to reduce the number of out-of-school children. Please, let's get your thoughts on this situation by the Ekiti State Government imprisoning this lady for this act of child abuse. You know, let's take, I may recall sometimes that, you know, still the situation that some would say humble beginning situation where they were out, some would go to school, some were out of school, but they were made to aid their parents in hawking most of their goods, just to at least have a meal to eat for the daily a daily meal in that sense. You know, that one is ruled out. But when you have to be biased, I'm just thinking in that situation, you have to be biased. Your children go to school, but you have to turn this innocent girl to hawking several things, exposing her to individuals that are not supposed to have access to. I imagine hawking palm wine. I want to get your thoughts on this Ekiti State Government's policy on this child abuse situation.
It's a good one. Very, very good. This issue of child abuse and hawking is too common. Is becoming the norm. It's not good for the society. It's not good for tomorrow. The law is good, but how is it being implemented? It's unfortunate that that lady is heartless. You went home, probably convinced your auntie or your cousin or whatever, and gives you your daughter with the mind that you will train a lot of combatant and return her a breadwinner in your house. And the day your children go to school, she's in the house. You treat her like, you know, it's unfortunate, it's not proper. The years is even too small. It's not small, she pay compensation. Apart from the prison time given to her, they should also give her compensation to pay. Honestly speaking, for the child is now a worker. The child goes out to the street and make money for them to feed the family. The guy should be paid. Honestly speaking, don't just go to court. They should give her a cost to you know, assuage the sweat, the abuse on the girl. Honestly speaking, it's unfortunate. Mothers should learn a lesson. You don't have to take care of your children. Even no matter how hungry you are, don't give her your children for maid. Don't. And that you're in the city, your uncles, what do they do in the city?
How about a situation where a parent make their child hawk their goods for them? Is that also possible to
yeah, they should define the role for them. It's not also why will a child go to hawk good for you? A child at that age, a school age, what are you doing? What kind of food what the thing you're doing that you should send the child on the street? Suppose he's hit by a vehicle and he dies. You're not a mother, you're not a father, you're no parent. You're not a parent.
So the parents should hawk the goods by the...
What is the hawking for? Get a place for yourself. You can sell your goods. If you, where you're living, it can make a... There's always improvised a place for you to sell. Palm wine, does palm wine carry it on there and go around the street? You put somewhere, if you want to say palm, put somewhere. In my village, people sell these little small, even in their houses. People come to buy from them. Must it be the child on the street? It's unfortunate. Even before God, is a very serious offense. You don't abuse what God has given to you. People out there looking for children. If you don't need it, don't have them. Stop having children if you cannot take care. Yes. If you also want to have your children, take the much you can take care of. 2 kids is okay for you. As much as your income can work on you. Be a single mother, be a single father, does not mean you cannot have a child. It's a choice. Don't get the child to do and abuse the child. The law is ideal one. I don't know most of the content of the law, but if you are doing something, they should also quantify the sweat of the guy. You should pay for the child. Pay for it. Honestly speaking. And government should make sure to supervise you. They should begin to declare houses where those people are, as they are demolishing houses of court people. It's also a court activity.
How do you mean, please?
Yes, child abuse. You beat a child, box a child, send him on the street. You are worse than a cultist. You're a murderer. You're a murderer. You have killed the child's future. You know, the child has no future. You just took the child for a house and keep her at a sad level. Okay? You begin to hew the wood for you and then fetch water for you. And then they don't give the child food. We've seen things like that. A lot of them go along to hawk ordinary sachet water. And there was one I accosted one day. The woman I said, I will arrest him myself. I'm sure I'll beat you myself. What's wrong with you? I'm afraid whether this child is your child. Every morning you put a poster on the child, this guy walk, you come back at the end of the day, you don't give her anything. You still want to tell her what happened to the water. You want to query her. It's not done. Personally, I used to accost them. I used to talk to them. I don't like it. It's not proper. If a child you cannot take care of, don't dare have it. You don't dare have it. That law is a good one. In short, they should make it more stringent. They should not just the women. The men too are involved in this thing. Some men that are issue yesterday, most of these guys they want to spoil them in the house. Men do it. They bring your sister, wife will bring the sister in the house to stay with you. You want to spoil that girl. There are threats. Yesterday night there was one threat I traced. A wife brought the sister in the house, and the husband want to stay with the girl. And that girl cannot talk. What the guy did was to leave, go to the father. What's the problem? What are easy? It said that, forget it. The child no go back. It's your sister. The child will go when goes back. After about it, the child come back and say, my father, see what is happening. It's not what I will tell my sister, so it doesn't rock the family. And my son won't even believe me. It's common.
You know, there are some places, like this Ekiti State Government that's taking this policy on a serious measure. There are some places, some communities in Ekiti State that some people will not know what's happening. There will be lenient government access to know what's happening. You know, how do you think this can go across I'm just saying for Ekiti State, which is a topic of discussion. I'm not getting to other states now, in order to reduce this issue of child hawking. This
is child right has been demonstrated in most of the states. So any state that has not demonstrated should demonstrate it. Okay? It should be part of pet project of the wives of the governors. It should be part of the project. Even those of the media house, they should intensify the enlightenment on that. Okay? There should be a very strong task force to watch. And so when they get the child on scene, hold the child. First of all, arrest the child who is roaming the street. The child will direct it to who sent her, to him or him, to she or her to go and hawk. That's how to trace him. When the task force catches the hawker, the teenage hawker, okay? The teenage hawker will take it to whoever, the principal. And then you go out of the principal. There must be serious investigation. Because most of the children on their own goes to do this on their own without someone sending them. We have seen some of them. They've learned they've learned the taste of money. We have also witnessed that. A child will come back, go to get a bag of water and go around and begin to sell. Some of them will go to the bush, pick snails and go to the market and sell. What they will do with it. A lot of things like that happens. So it's not just on the parents or the whoever siblings. Investigate the genuineness of the children itself walking the street. Because most of them here, they were not sent by somebody. Their parents, their siblings, the guardian may don't even know. We have seen things like that happen. Children, this has gone to a different thing. Honestly speaking, I can tell you this. Sometimes if you investigate it, nobody send them. So it's a two-way thing. It checks and balances. While prosecuting the principal of the guardians, find out how come about the parents and who brought the child in the city. That's another thing.
Okay, you made mention of parents not releasing their kids to
don't give out to your children,
people.
even if you are suffering, drink water.
In this case, this is the cousin to this particular lady in question. This is a relative of this lady. So is it a bad situation where you have to allow your relative to have your child stay with you in that instance?
Who do you trust this day? People now go for ritual, they come and take you and take their child away. Before you know it, they can declare the child is missing. Give him crocodile tears. Give you some money. What will you do? That your child is with your cousin, with your uncle, with your brother, with your sister, and eventually the child get lost or the child died. What will you do? And some of them are influential. They influence their people at home. They go home, splash, gifts and so on and so forth. And they're difficult to believe those their children. Sometimes when they come, you see them, they will now wear the child good clothes and take the child home. The child cannot talk. You can see the body language of the child. The parents will know what, how are you? This and that. You wouldn't know how I'm not going back again. No, go back. If you don't want to know why that child says not going back again. So parents should also monitor when you give out your children. When you give out your children even to your own child, living with your own child is also not safe. You should watch them. Watch them. Don't trust anybody. I can tell you that don't trust anybody. If you have your children, be able to contain yourself. Why would you even give your child to somebody else? Why would you give your child? What is that person do? What is the person working? How many children has the person? It's a common thing. People are mindless. I do not trust anybody. Not even myself. So please, let it be a watchword for parents. Don't trust anybody as much as in trusting your child to whoever. You must take serious investigation. You should be deep in thinking. You should reflect. Who is this person? What is his background before he left to the city? Because our problem is that now he has his money, now has money. What was he? Who is his parents? Who are they? Where are they coming from? Where were they before now? It's important before you give up, before you even begin to lay people. That people suddenly wealth now. People say, he has made it. Please let me take a child. It's my own. Who was he before now? Anyhow you like her. I will know one with events we went. Where I will say the poverty does not run away, no matter how wealthy you are. There are still the little trace in you. A wicked man who said I've changed. Who did he give his former wickedness title? Okay? A number of us say, hey, I've changed. I'm not evangelist. Where that your former gone? Who give it to? Once in a while, you say, if not when it was me, if not before, the thing is still there. He has even committed when he said, oh God. In short, if it were me in those days, you are still what you are. In short, if you push me, I'll put Bible by the side. Who are you? You are still what you are. So please, my advice to parents is please, before you give out your child, to whoever, make proper investigation, reflect, think.
Okay, Chief Ali, you talked about the Child Rights Act that has been established in most of the states.
Yes.
Yes, and Ekiti State have taken the drastic measure on this situation where they have also said that some the schools would be free education in that instance. How about states that, let's say Lagos State, have reduced the situation of child hawking, even street hawking in that instance, states that have not put in place measures for the free schooling, free education instance. When you take this child out of the street, what do you do for that child? When you stop that child from hawking, that's why I asked the question of the ones that hawk to, support the parent in that instance. I'm not saying any of them. I'm not saying entirely child hawking is not a good, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. It's a two-way situation, because you can have a child that gets to work to support the parent in that instance, which is actually not supposed to be. But I'm just putting that aside there. But when you take this child out of the streets because you want to enact the Child Rights Act and all of that, what do you do? What should be put in place in that? In most of the states that do not have the abilities or the measures to, provide the school free education for those children.
If I'm also give back a question, where in this country we have free education? People should stop this babalas. Where? Which state can come and say, yes, I have free education in my state? None. It's just mere bravado. It's not true. Yes, government may have policy for free education for primary schools. How effective is that? How true is it? And what is the learning and teaching and learning environment? You said you don't want to pay school fees, but they expect to pay for school uniform. You don't pay school fees, they expect to buy your books. Is it free? And again, before, what about the teachers, the principals, the headmistresses, and so on, who register the students? They charge. So how free is the school? How free is the school? Free education is just a mere saying. Go to the school proper, just make a kind of experiment. They want to go and register a child school. How much they will charge you? I'm talking about public schools. Because private school is commercial oriented. But this one is a public school where our taxpayers are invested. It's not free. Nowhere school is free in Nigeria. What is free? Maybe your school fees is 10 naira. Government decided to subsidize it or remove it totally. What about registration? What about the uniforms? What about the books? Other learning facilities, other learning tools and learning instruments, learning things.
But there was a time in Rivers State that most of the public schools were free.
Yeah, that was it. They say what? That was. Have you seen the state of those schools now? Let us say the fact.
So most of the states have.
How many schools in Rivers State do they still buy uniform for people? I was in this system that was ready to come out. I know when I met you was doing that. Our primary schools then were a bit more better than secondary schools across the country. In the primary schools then, they have their studio. Everything is world class. I was editor of I was publishing government house journal. We were publishing this now. It's a global. The school was a global school of anywhere in the world. University primary schools were one of the best in the whole Africa. Not just the building itself, the ambience, the environment, the recreational facilities, teaching aids, complete, world class. Up to the kindergarten.
So you're saying that some states are not still following that
not only is the university still following it. Those things are dead. They are comatose. They are no longer there. Maintenance culture. At a stage, our classrooms in primary school are air conditioned. They have a standby gen. There is a superb toilet system. If you go to there are recreation facilities. Things were there. Are they still there now? Go there. There are no teaching ordinary board that don't have smart board. I'm aware. I go to schools. I was going to schools everywhere to write features on those things. I was moving. I went to Ahoda, went to Bori, everywhere I was going. I can make publications. I can provide them here. It was superb. It was superb. I remember one time one of the countries head of state visited here. The man was crazy. It was superb. Just the same with our health centers. Virtually all the communities had health centers, world-class health centers, primary health care. They are all dead. I'm in public television. Go to those primary schools now. Those things are no longer there. The uniforms are not there. The books are not there. The libraries were no longer there. They've said nothing exists again.
So what
teachers now teach with the pop-off on their table. Local snacks on their table, granite, sweet on their table. What? And they make one of the pupils a manager of our wear. So there's no free schooling in Nigeria. These children that even stop it. Why are they working? No opportunity. There's no future for them.
And that's why I said
okay?
It's a two-way situation.
So the child right too should be all embracing. You should incorporate these laws on the part of government and the part of the people. It's a social contract. If government don't do this, you hold government accountable. If the parent don't hold parents accountable, not just one-sided thing, because I saw the child on the street, you know whether the girl has food to eat for the house? Do they have, those parents, what are they doing? They use the tools they have to make a living. With the tools are the children. They take them to the street, go sell water, go sell this, go and sell that, and come back home. Sometimes those children will even sell and enter market to buy small things to cook in the house. They become breadwinner. The government should be held accountable. Yes. Nothing's happening. It's not just maybe commission information or means that we will just go and make noise. Those are not there.
All right. Well,
if you go to Ekiti State, it's one of the worst educational systems. Do they have what have divided buildings?
The state government said they've been putting that into place.
Have you gone to Ekiti? Of course now. Have you gone to Ekiti? I've been to no part of the world I've not been.
Recently, Chief.
What are you talking about?
All right.
Did they change overnight?
Well, we got your thoughts on that, the Chief Wale.